All right, so you're here with us on the deep dive because, well, you want to get to the heart of things fast, right? No beating around the bush.
Absolutely.
Cut to the chase.
Yep.
So today, we're going deep on Frankie NY's mass building program for, the natural lifters out there.
Okay.
And we've got excerpts from his PDF here.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission basically is to distill the core principles of his approach to packing on that side.
Right. Get rid of the fluff.
Without all the extra stuff that you don't need.
Exactly.
So for those of you listening who are natural and want to build muscle without getting, bogged down in crazy complicated routines, Frankie's program is actually pretty straightforward. It's refreshing.
It is.
It's built around a 3-day split.
Okay.
So day 1 is
push.
Focusing on exercises like the bench press, shoulder press, triceps extensions.
That's not classic.
The classics. Yep.
Yeah.
Day 2, that's legs.
Leg
You got your squats, stiff leg deadlifts, and even some weighted core work.
He throws a head in there.
Yeah, he does. And then day 3.
Day 3, pull day.
This is where you hit those deadlifts, rows, chin-ups, and curls.
Makes sense.
So pretty fundamental stuff, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think that's what's great about it.
Yeah.
You're not jumping around between a bunch of different exercises every week.
Right.
It's a dedication to these foundational movements.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what really drives this whole program is the 5 sets of 5 repetitions.
5.
For every single exercise.
Yep. Same weight across all sets.
Same weight across all sets. That's the core of it.
Right. And that's something that, I think is really effective for natural lifters. 5 by 5. It's a good balance of strength and hypertrophy.
Right.
So, muscle growth in layman's terms.
Yeah.
It allows for you to do enough volume without getting overly fatigued, which is really important when you're natural because you're not, recovering as fast as somebody who might be on, performance enhancing drugs.
Right. Yeah.
Frankie really emphasizes the mindset here.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is all about progressive overload.
Progressive overload.
Right.
Got to add weight.
Got to add weight. Every week he's very specific about this.
Yeah.
He says, you won't be able to add more weight each week, but that needs to be your mentality.
Oh, wow.
Don't think about anything else but adding more weight.
I like that.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
But like you said, that's the core of it.
It's that singular focus on just getting stronger over time.
So 2 or 5 pounds each week.
Yeah.
That seems to be his main thing.
It's the long game.
Right.
If you can do that for months and years, you're going to see huge results.
Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit, talk about cardio.
Okay.
So he recommends moderate intensity cardio.
Good.
Things like biking or speed walking. 3 times a week for 25 to 30 minutes.
Gotcha.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
He specifically advises against running.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now, why do you think that is?
I would say just to minimize the impact on recovery and strength gains, which are the primary goals of a mass building program.
Yeah.
High impact cardio like running, it can be pretty taxing on the system.
Right.
Whereas something like biking or, a brisk walk, it's going to give you those cardiovascular benefits without that same level of
stress.
Yeah.
So it's really about, minimizing anything that might interfere with muscle growth.
Recovery is so important, especially for natural athletes.
Okay. Now on to warm-ups.
Right.
He's got a very specific routine that he recommends. 5 minutes of moderate cardio just to break a light sweat.
Okay.
Followed by 10 minutes of stretching.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Wow, that's a lot.
Hitting, all the major muscle groups.
Yeah.
He even recommends stretching legs on push day.
Oh, interesting.
And his reasoning is that, your legs are still involved in overhead pressing movements.
They're stabilizing.
Yeah.
You're using your legs to press.
Exactly. Interesting. So he's all about like a holistic,
full body
prep
approach.
Right.
It makes sense though. You're not just warming up the muscles you're about to train.
Exactly.
It's more about like getting your whole body ready to work out.
And then before you get into the main work sets, he has these specific warm-up sets with weights.
Okay.
So one set of 5 reps at 50% of your work weight, and then another set of 5 at 75% before you jump into those 5 heavy sets.
So he's really specific about this.
He is, and he's actually pretty adamant about this because he directly challenges that common belief that you need to do like light, high-rep warm-up sets.
With like 12 to 15 reps.
Yeah. And his argument is that, those lighter weights don't really prepare your nervous system for what you're about to do.
You're not activating the right muscles or motor units, right?
You're doing a completely different exercise.
It is.
Than what you're about to do.
Exactly. You're not actually getting ready to lift heavy.
And he even says, that those light sets are a total misconception.
Wow.
He's like, they don't do anything other than burn up energy, and they don't help you with injury prevention.
Interesting.
So he's all about,
specificity,
getting your body ready.
Getting ready to do the thing.
For the actual weight that you're going to be lifting.
I like it.
So just to recap quickly, 3-day split hitting those major muscle groups with fundamental compound movements, 5 sets of 5 reps.
5 by 5.
With a laser focus on adding weight consistently.
Yeah, get stronger over time.
Moderate cardio is in, running is out.
Yeah.
And a thorough warm-up with those specific weighted sets is super important.
Yeah.
Moving away from that idea of just doing like a bunch of light reps.
Yeah.
Before you actually start lifting heavy.
Yeah, that seems to be the core of Frankie's approach.
Yeah, I think so.
For natural lifters.
Yeah. Based on these excerpts anyway.
Based on these excerpts, yeah.
So here's something to think about.
What's that?
You know how he talks about that consistent application of progressive overload and structured training?
Right.
Just that dedication to gradual improvement.
Yeah.
What if we applied that to other areas of our lives?
Interesting.
Not just fitness.
Yeah. That's a good point.
What could we accomplish?
What could we achieve?
If we took that same approach.
Yeah.
Just that
steady, consistent improvement.
In other areas.
That's a great takeaway.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya.